Hi, and welcome to Wisdom from the Angels. I hope you're doing well. My name is Carolyn, and welcome back to another episode of Wisdom from the Angels. Today, it is a beautiful day on the central coast of California, and the sun is out, and it's about 72 degrees. If we're going up to a high today of 82, and it is promising to be a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, and I hope that you and your family and loved ones are doing well. I want to welcome you, and if you're new, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the tribe. Welcome to the family. Welcome. And if you are someone who's been here for a while, welcome back. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell next to it so you get email notification of new videos as they're uploaded. Hope you'll go back and look at some of the other videos I've done, and you can just click on the Wisdom from the Angels name and it'll take you to all the videos that are there. I believe there's over 90 of them. And also, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and share the message with someone who may find it to be encouraging. Okay? So let's get into the message for today. Normally, I don't date my messages, and today I am going to dedicate it to someone who was in my life for 33 years, my late husband, Kirk. Today would have been his 68th birthday, and he passed away about 16 years ago at a very young age. Anyway, I'm going to dedicate this to him, and the deck that kept calling for me to take out, to bring out, was Whispers of Healing. And, when our loved ones pass over, we are left with a gap in our life, and a new way of living begins. And so I am going to today dedicate this to him. And if it rings a bell for you, great. And I hope that if you have any loved ones out there, that it helps you to heal even more. Okay? All right, so let's get into the reading for today. All right, and as you know, we start out with coming into our heart space. So I did a little extra one there. Turn down this music so it's not so distracting. Did an extra one there because 1 plus 3 equals 4. And today's that kind of day. Today, if you have this deck, please go pull it. We're doing Whispers of Healing, okay? And it is by Angela Hartfield. I believe I have a couple of her other decks. And I know it by the art, because the art on these cards is absolutely wonderful. Not that the other cards aren't, it's just that these tend to be very, very pretty colors. And I like pretty. I like pretty. Oh, Lord, and look. See, the back matches my dress, matches the envelope. Look at us today. We all matchy-matchy. Oh, goodness. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. It is Tuesday, October 13th, 2020. I had a wonderful weekend. I decided to extend it to yesterday, so that's why I did not do a recording yesterday, because yesterday was considered a holiday here in the United States, acknowledging Indigenous people. Some people said Columbus Day. Other people said, yay, it's a day off. But I decided to just hang low. As I said, I had eye surgery on Thursday of last week, and I did not take any downtime because people were in need of sessions. So I went ahead and did those sessions, and I decided to just take yesterday off. And so I got some boxes cleared out. I had 5 boxes that said on the front, review, 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 review. And I was like, you know what? These have been sitting here with these stickers on them for almost a year. Let's go through these and see what we're keeping and what we're not. And you know what? Out of the 5 boxes that were there, I ended up with a box and a half. So see what happens when you start to declutter? You find out stuff is in there that you didn't even know was was in there. I found a receipt from 20 years ago where I paid off a mortgage, and it was thanking me. It was a note from the mortgage lender thanking me for paying off my mortgage in such a timely manner and early. I was like, wait, 20 years? What year is this? 2002. It was October 2002. I was like, what? Look at you, girl. You just doing it. But I laughed because it's 20 years old. So, I was like, I think I can kind of let this one go. Even credit reports don't keep things on your credit that long unless you asked them to. But ask them for the good stuff, not the other stuff. Okay, so there's 2 cards out. And my husband Kirk was a very sensitive guy, loved to sing, loved to eat ice cream. If you ever sent him to the store to get something, you could be assured that in that bag was going to be some flavor of Haagen-Dazs, and he loved any flavor of ice cream. His favorite flavor, I think he said it was vanilla because he could add so many things to it. So that tells you he was a physician, and toward the end of his life, he had a serious injury. Home one day alone in the shower. Didn't realize the shampoo fell, and he went sliding through it, cracked his back in 3 places, ended his surgical career. And so then our life took on a very interesting turn, and we moved out of Florida and moved to California and lived in Palo Alto, and just had things start to get very interesting. It was a fun time, those 10 years that we had as a family, where everyone was it was probably the first time in our family's life where we had all been around each other more than normal, because mom and dad were at home now. And even though my 2 children were in school, or our 2 children were in school, my son was finishing up, when we moved to Palo Alto, my son was finishing up high school his last year, and my daughter was going into middle school. And so it was a magical time. Yeah, we were and still are a cool family. And like all families, we have our moments. And some moments last longer than others, and some are more exciting than others. But anyway, I picked this deck, or this deck picked me today, because it said honor Kirk today. So today, I hope and honor people that you have lost. We think life goes by so fast. Well, we think each day is like drudgery and that it's taken forever. But life happens fast. It goes by really, really, really fast. And oftentimes we take it for granted. Oh, another day, or oh, great, I get to go to bed because I'm tired. And we don't often think about how quickly it's going by, and so, yeah, honor those who have passed over, honor those who have been a part of your life, especially those who left a mark on your life. And yes, I have been a widow for 16 years, and it has been a real healing journey for me. The cards for today are absolutely amazing. It's amazing, the spread is. And I'm going to show you the spread before I get into the interpretation. So the first card that came out is sensitivity. And when you add the 1 and the 2, you get the number 3, which is all about miracles and manifestations. And it's interesting because we were a family of 4, and when he passed, there were just the 3 of us. Okay, the next card is Unconditional Love. And I truly learned what unconditional love was all about, especially being a caregiver for 10 years. It was an interesting twist in my life. The number 30, again, the number 3. This card says awareness on it, and having an awareness, and you see the rainbow in the background, and that is absolutely beautiful. And there is a young child in the middle, so something's being born, a new beginning. And that's what we're going through right now. Isn't it how interesting how that lines up? And I'm going to get back to that in a minute. Just want to show you all the cards that came out. And again, 3 and 1 make 4. This is all about replenishing. Replenish yourself. Make sure that you take the time to just rest. Here's the number 9. And this card says triggers. Okay? Beautiful. Like I said, the art on these cards are just absolutely beautiful. Let's go on to the next card, which is a master number. And it's number 22. Breathe. Again, a number 4. And most of the cards for today are either a 4 or a 3. That's interesting, except for this last one, of course, it would be number 50, boundaries. And that is 5, a change, a shift, boundaries. We're going to get into that. So I think that what we're hearing today is, healing. Healing takes time. And just when you think you're healed, you may get triggered all over again, and something will come up. But let's get into what the developer of this deck is talking about, because the leading card is sensitivity, which is number 12. And it's interesting because this was the card I pulled yesterday. It says being sensitive means you feel energy on a deeper level than most people around you. You may sense or know what other people are feeling or thinking. You may also take on their feelings or moods. You may find that your fears become amplified when your sensitivity is heightened. To heal this cycle, learn to confront your fears. Work toward getting to know yourself. Sensitivity is depicted in this image as a wood nymph. Her face is half hidden from view. The moss covering her face brings attention to your fears. The darkness around her face suggests a fear held in the mind. This fear may not be warranted. It is up to you to face your fears. The lightness shown at the nymph's solar plexus represents her personal power. See how that light is hitting her right in the middle? This is a reminder that you hold the strength to overcome this in any other situation. All right? So if you've got a situation going on in your own life where you're wondering, can I do this? Can I really get through this? This card is here saying, yes, you can. You may be more sensitive than most people. And that is why it may seem like it is a very hard thing to do. Part of our growth on this planet is to get to know ourselves, and to really get to know ourselves on a very, very deep level, and to really show ourselves and our loved ones unconditional love. And that means that we love them in spite of their flaws, in spite of how they show up, in spite of them disappointing us at times. And if you have anyone in your life for a period of time, they are going to disappoint you, and you are going to disappoint them. And it may not be intentional. It's just the cycle of life. And oftentimes we forget that each one of us is truly here to learn the difference between fear and love. And unconditional love means that you love someone despite anything else that is going on. And my husband and I, at least on my part, I did have unconditional love for him. When you see someone who is struggling, who is going through a very painful part of their life, to be told at 40 that your surgical career is over is very painful. So if you're someone young and you're going through you've studied and you've really progressed in your career, and to all of a sudden be told that career is over because you can no longer do surgery because holding the instruments is not going to happen. Too many mistakes can be made. So what this means, unconditional love. The book says this. I'm not making it up. here's the beautiful card. It's saying, continue to love someone no matter what may be difficult. However, love is always worthwhile. You are made up of love 100%. This is the truth of your very being. No matter how upset you are, how much you beat yourself up, or unknowingly hurt other people, you will always have love residing in you. Your heart is seeking love at every second of your life. Loving unconditionally means giving love without expectation. Being and giving the love you want to experience in your relationships can be the hardest lesson of life. A big part of unconditional love is forgiveness. You limit your ability to achieve unconditional love when you blame someone for a past wrong or rehash past sufferings. Beating yourself up and blaming your sadness on the past only triggers more distress in your life. You have a purpose in life and you have a choice. You can let the past haunt you, and it will, or inflict, and it will inflict more suffering in your life, or you can forgive yourself and others and get back to living your purpose. So you see the two fairies on this card. It says it's depicting this message. One fairy has her hands over her heart as if she is receiving love. The other fairy is openly expressing love to her friend. The rainbow hues symbolize magical blessings because rainbows remind us of the benefits that come from hoping and believing that unconditional love heals all things. There is so much love being shown to you each and every day. Unconditional love is your greatest challenge and your greatest joy. And I think that what happens in relationships, especially relationships that are close, we forget how much we truly love someone and how much we truly enjoy having them in our lives. And when they mess up, we've been taught that someone must be right, someone must be wrong. Not necessarily thinking about their humanity, not necessarily thinking about how they might feel. Sometimes when we are angry, it does help for us to step aside, put ourselves in their shoes, and to really look at what this person might be going through. Someone who could really lash out and hurt you is a sign that they are in need of understanding. They are in need of love. They are in need of being embraced. And it is time, no matter what else is happening right now, for you to really get a sense of what's going on. Have an awareness of exactly what it is that is part of what you truly, truly desire. When you're facing a crisis, having a strong spiritual foundation is absolutely valuable. Knowing there's a bigger picture yet to be revealed can bring you support and comfort. The ability to pray, meditate, and visualize during a difficult situation will ease your mind and assist you through it. Spirituality means different things to different people. Developing a deeper connection to your spirituality in a healthy manner can help you respond to life with love, resilience, and optimism. The Nautilus is said to reveal the inner beauty of the soul, and that's what we're looking at here on this card. This Nautilus holds an infant, indicating progress in a spiritual journey. The pool of water below the Nautilus, it signifies the healing waters of life. The rainbow is the promise of divine connection that is open to everyone. A tree of life reaches into the heavens with a message of continuity and strength for the soul that resides within all of us. And the symbols in this artwork speak to us of our ability to connect on a higher level, on a higher sense of purpose. And that is what we need to do, especially during crises, for our well-being. And it's not necessarily that we do it during crises. It's important for us to remember that we are all here as human beings. And at any moment in time, we are doing our absolute best. And sometimes we do need to step back and replenish and start to really take care of ourselves and to rest and to go within. And that is important for us to do, especially as we are going through any kind of decision making, any kind of stressful situation. It's important for us to just step back for a moment. It's easy to respond. It's easy to have that knee jerk reaction. Oh, you did this to me, I'm going to do this to you. I'm going to hurt you even more than you hurt me. But sometimes when we step back for a moment, set our stuff aside, and begin to look at what this person might be going through. Maybe what you're communicating or what you thought you were communicating was love is coming off very differently to this other person. And they might have been triggered. And something may trigger them. And while you may say, oh, well, you're old enough to know better, we are all here on this planet right now, especially during all of this chaos, really seeking ways to do and handle life in a different way. And that's what 2020 was all about. How do we begin to recognize where the foundations are shaky and begin to let them break down in order to have a breakthrough? And when we decide to let that breakdown happen, as can happen in relationships, and allow for a breakthrough, we can also determine what a new future can look like. And it can look very different than the past. And usually when someone is responding or reacting in a way that you're like, what in the world is going on now? Maybe look at it through the lens of, how much is this person hurting? And in a relationship, that doesn't necessarily mean that there is a right and a wrong. It could be a misunderstanding. It could be a miscommunication. It could be a lot of things that you haven't even considered. Or at the moment of making a decision, you may make a decision that is not coming from a higher place, but coming from a place of hurt or trauma. And if you've lived any time on this earth and you're over 18, at some point in time, there is going to be trauma. And while people who love you don't set out to traumatize you, that may happen. And this is saying that the occurrences or circumstances in your life may affect you on a deep level and may be stored in your memory as wounds or triggers. Your ego can become defensive due to the emotional wounds you carry with you. Once a wrongdoing has happened in your life, it cannot be undone. But you can choose how to handle in a more loving way the outcome. There is no single situation you cannot overcome. You can detach from the triggers. You must have the will and the desire to do so. Authentic healing means accepting past traumas, sadness, depression, and disappointment. And from here, you can choose to accept responsibility for your emotions and your triggers. When you neutralize the stories from the past, they lose their grip on you, and healing can take place. However, if you hold on to pain, this limits how you can move into a new future. And it is time to disconnect the switch and stop allowing a past situation to control you. The bubble in this image represents memories and stories from the past. Once they are no longer have energy to trigger you, they will pop and disappear, and the sun can come out. You see how the sun is rising over the horizon in this card? And it's reminding you that you have a new day in which to create anything you want. The warmth of the sun supplies extra love to you. The ocean and the rivers bring flow, gentleness, and friendship to help you release what no longer serves you. And we're being challenged to do that right now. And that is absolutely true, because this is the new moon coming up, which means we are also still dealing with the full moon energy that we had earlier this month. I believe on October 1st, we had a full moon, or the 2nd. However, that energy is still carrying over. We are coming into a new moon this week on the 16th. And while we are also in Mercury retrograde, which started yesterday, we have the ability to really get out there and not only breathe and allow things to shift, and allow them to shift for the good of all, and at the same time have healthy boundaries. And there's nothing wrong with healthy boundaries, because boundaries allow us the opportunity to show up in the world in the way that we'd like to show up. Not in a way of perhaps hurting someone else, but doing what is best and what is healthy for ourselves. So you see in this card, the woman is holding this beautiful peacock, and she's standing next to a distinctive boundary. Notice the maidens on the other side of the boundary. The presence of the maidens may signify a level of commitment as you move toward a new resolve in how you take care of yourself and how you take care of relationships. We also have all of these beautiful flowers, and it's wisteria. And wisteria represents a time of learning. It is important, it really is important, that when you have boundaries, that other people respect them. And sometimes boundaries get very blurred, especially if there's someone who is in need of being very controlling in a situation, or someone who is hatching scenarios for someone where someone else will fail, because that's the nature of that scenario. I urge each and every one of you to step back, look at your situations again. Like I said at the beginning, life happens very quickly. Things happen very suddenly. Who knew that on March the 7th, 2004, that March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, that my husband would no longer be here. And so I urge each and every one of you, grab your loved ones, hold them close, practice unconditional love. Unconditional love means you have healthy boundaries. You can agree to disagree. You can have very difficult conversations, but keeping an eye on the resolution of what is for the best and highest good of all and the highest healing. And sorry about that. And one of the things that you can really look at is look to the angels. And when we are looking to the angels for unconditional love, we're looking at Chamuel. We're looking at Cassiel. Both all about love, all about holding each other close, holding each other dear. And you can disagree, and still love. You can have conflict and still love. You can also go through very stressful moments and still love. Call an angel Raphael to help with the healing of that situation. Call in Gabriel and Uriel for direction and guidance. Call in Michael to cut away all of the cords of narcissism, of fear, of stress, of powerlessness, and the need to control. Have Michael help you cut away all triggers, and we've talked about how Michael can do that. Go back and look at my video that I did on Archangel Michael in the month of September, when I honored the angels, because September is Angel Month. Call on Daniel to help with forgiveness. Call on Daniel to help you forgive yourself for how you responded. Call on Daniel to help you forgive others for how they may have responded at a moment. Remember, each and every day, with each and every breath we take, that is just a moment in time. It is not the full picture of time. So I urge each and every one of you, when you are in need of support, what do we say here on the channel? Call in the angels. And if you're not sure which one, what is our saying here? Get the flock in here. I urge you to really take advantage of the energy right now, which is for us to shift into love. We have lived most of this year very fear-based, on a roller coaster, not certain of what's going to happen. Hearing it's unprecedented. Hearing that we're in chaos. Hearing of confusion and fear. And there's been a good reason. I mean, we've lost how many souls? Here in the United States, over 200,000. I had predicted at one point that it would probably be 20 million worldwide that would be affected by this virus. We're slowly getting there, unfortunately. I would like to say to you, take time now. Look at where you've been. Reflect. Take time and really hold those people close to you, the people that you truly love. Love them despite their differences. Love them despite their faults. Love them despite what your expectations of them are. And really start to understand that any negative energy can be dispersed. And you have the opportunity to change things and turn them around for the good of all. So I end this with highest healing and the highest unconditional love for each and every one of us will get us moving forward in our lives. All right, thank you very much, and I hope you'll come back tomorrow for another wisdom from the angels. Thank you, and have an amazing, where's the clicker? Sorry, rest of the day. And I hope that you have a day that is full of sunshine, joy, and positivity. And may your heart be filled with more love, joy, and peace than you possibly can hold on to. Thank you for joining us. Come on back. Don't forget to give it a like and share this with someone who may need the healing that can come through this reading. Thank you very much. Take care.